Welcome back to Papa's These Bees. Today we're going to take a look at the corner hive and do an inspection. We're going to check for winter food resources. This will help them get through the winter. We have to make sure they have enough to last. We're going to check for queen or evidence of the queen. And of course that evidence, as always, could be either in finding larvae or eggs. And then we're going to check for varroa mites. We're going to do a dawn wash. If we find varroa in excess, then we'll determine what treatment to do. And then also at the end, we're going to give a little update on the resource nuke. Let's get started.
Okay, we're going to take the corner hive apart and check on resources and do a dawn wash to check on for mites. I'm afraid we've had such a strange dry summer that the fall nectar flow, I believe, is going to be very weak. But we've got some rain that may occur over the next few weeks. So normally by the middle of October, we would be taking the things down for winter. But because we've had such high temperatures, we're supposed to have some 80s on through the next couple of weeks. But hopefully we'll get some rain and that will help the nectar flow a little bit. But I need to gauge on how much to start feeding and when to start feeding as we get closer to the time to build them down for winter. So we'll start taking it apart. Now, again, you'll notice the Reflectix insulation that we talked about in the last video. So if you have any question about that, you can go back to that video and check it out. Okay, this is the Flow Super. The last time we looked, it didn't have hardly anything in it, and I really don't think it's going to have anything in it now. So we're going to give it a couple more weeks, and then we'll more than likely have to just take it off and not get any flow or have them do anything for the winter season. Now, in case you hadn't seen this little gadget, this is a tool that will allow you to raise up here and put this in to keep it separated so you can more easily break the propolis seal and get in there. So it comes with a nice little lanyard so you can actually carry it easier. Yeah, this is extremely light, so there's nothing in it. I may take pull a frame out just to see. It'd be in the middle, but I'm almost guarantee you there's nothing in it. Yeah, it's completely empty. So we could go, in theory, we'd go ahead and winter it down now. Let's check for hive beetles. There's a few in there, but not a lot. And now this is what I'm really most interested in, is to check this out to see what kind of winter stores they're going to have, because this, if you followed us along, this is their winter storehouse. So we don't touch this honey. We leave it for them to use all through the winter. So I'm going to pull the middle here and see what it looks like. Yeah, they do have some nectar in there, which is good. So the fall flow, you can see the shiny stuff in there. The fall flow is actually on. I just don't know again how much it is. See some capped honey that's in there, and the same thing looks on the frames as we go on over. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this off. Still heavy. That's really good. That's really good. I feel good about that. About what they have. They should probably have 40 to 60 pounds of honey left for the winter, and that's about what's in there. So that's good. That makes me feel good. Tell you what, there's a lot of bees with heads and cells in here, which again leads me to believe that, leads me to believe that we've got a flow going, because the forager bees will come into the hive with their nectar, and they won't take it and put it in cells. They'll hand it off to a house bee or a nurse bee type that will take that nectar and take it and put it in frames. So this looks to me like what we've got going on in here. I don't know if you can see down inside, but there's heads in the cells all over the place. So again, that's really good to see. So we're going to pull a few of them out of here. Yeah, still haven't built that one out. That was one we put in when we did the split earlier, and just hasn't been enough going on for them to take care of. And we'll kind of go a little quick here, because this time of year you could definitely have robbing going on. But you can see in here they're starting to cap some honey, and you can see all of the pollen here, the different yellow oranges in there, which is good, because they'll need that. And you can see again in here all of the bees with heads in cells. They're working the nectar and turning it into honey. Same thing, that's extremely light, so there's nothing going on there, except you can see them working the frame, putting putting honey in the cells. Same thing here. Now we're getting into the area where we should be seeing nurse activities. Lots of pollen in here in this upper part of this frame, as you can see. Okay, here's some pollen on the bee right there. They're still working this pretty good. And there's some larvae in there, the white you can see, that's good. And of course you got the capped brood right there, so we're getting into that time when she's laying her winter bees. Make sure I don't have the queen, because this would be a good one to do the wash with. Let's go ahead and go over here and shake them. You can see lots of larvae in here, which is good. So we'll put this back in, check one more frame while those are kind of airing out, evening out. As we've talked about before, if the bees that fly out of that pot or that bucket over there would be foragers, and they won't help us much anyway. Yeah, we've got lots of activity going on, so we're in good shape. I want to see how many we've got. We got more than that. Got to really double check close. Make sure the queen's not in here. This is not a good time of year to lose a queen. Yeah, there's no queen in there. So again, if you haven't been around before when we do this, this has got Dawn, 1 tablespoon of Dawn to a gallon of water. And we'll get a half a cup of bees out of this bunch. and dump them in. Now this is about as humane as it gets as far as dealing with the bees, because they will die, but they will give up their mites as well. Need to dump those back on, because again, hopefully the majority of those, the majority of those would have been nurse bees, so that's the reason they didn't fly. So we'll seal this up. These things, this particular one does not seal too well. I've got to be real careful. I'll leave it like that for a little bit. Now I've got to be real careful, because that Dawn on my hands is not going to be good for the bees. So, well, I've seen what I wanted to see. I'm just going to put it back together, because I don't want to get any of this Dawn on them. The quality of everything else looks good. There's plenty of bees in here, which is really good. And hopefully they'll finish filling this out. Center these things as best you can. Because this whole thing about spacing is, if you have 3/8 of an inch or more, the bees will build burr comb on it. If you have 3/8 of an inch or less, they'll put propolis on it. If it's 3/8 inches, what they call bee space, that means enough room for the bees to crawl through, and that's about what you normally have in here. So again, we'll just put this thing back together. It's really important to make sure that the edges all match, especially as you get things ready for winter, because if they're not, you can have problems with it not sealing properly and not insulating as good as you can. So this box is a little bit larger. The medium standard Langstroth are a little bit bigger than the flow. This is a flow deep, and this is a standard Langstroth medium. So they won't match up 100%, but they'll do pretty close. And for now, we're going to go ahead and put this back on. I don't foresee them filling it up, but you just don't ever know. If we were to get lucky and have a good flow start, then maybe so. And in a couple of weeks, we'll come back and build it down for the winter and go from there. So let's put this back together here. One more thing I want to do is I want to go over and revisit the little nuke over here and put some sugar water in it, because I know they need to be fed, because they don't have near enough. Okay, let's look at the landing board of that. Can you see that? That's the bees coming out, in and out. And it's a little chilly today. It's in the high, supposed to be in the low 70s. Tomorrow get a little bit warmer, or actually cooler tomorrow. And then on Sunday it gets back up in the 80s, and it'll be 80s all next week. If you watch the last video, you'll know that we did a let me go over here. We put this rapid round in, and so what we're going to do is put 1-to-1 sugar water in it to help feed them a little bit. This thing kind of floats a little bit, so, and that sock that's in there will wick up the sugar water, and that way the bees won't have to crawl all the way down in the water to get the sugar water. So that's all there is to it. Okay, thanks. We'll check you next time.
And now let's take a look at the results of the dawn wash on the corner hive. As you can see here, there's just a lot of detritus, but there are also some mites, a lot of mites. You can see the little reddish brown animals in the water. You can see the little legs. So there's way more than there should be. In fact, we're probably at about 12 to 15, which would mean there's 3 to 5% mites. So we've got to protect them. So what do? I've got Formic Pro on the way. Hopefully it'll take care of them. Well, there you have it. Seems like there's always good news, bad news with the bees. Good news, they had plenty of winter stores. Bad news, we've got a treat for varroa. Oh well, that's just the way it is. Well, thanks for watching. If you would, please hit the subscribe button. Also, click the little bell over there. That'll tell you when we've got a new video coming out. And if you found anything useful, please hit the like button. Thanks again. Come back and see us next time. We appreciate you.